Okay, so this is a mixture problem. So I have a vat that contains 4,110 liters of wine with an alcohol content of 10%. So how much of this wine must be removed so that when it is replaced with wine with a 17% alcohol content, the alcohol content in the final mixture will be 12%. So if we think about what's happening here, here's my wine that I'm starting with, right? And we know that there's 4,000, let me get my pen. We know that there's 4,110 liters of it. Okay? And it has an alcohol content of 10%. So there's my first barrel that I'm mixing together. Okay, now, to do that, I'm then going to think about it. We're going to take wine out, so it's going to get removed. I'm going to have this same barrel here. Okay? But remember, it's actually even going to be the same barrel. Okay? So it actually still has 10% alcohol in it. Okay? So we're removing 10% alcohol. So this barrel is going to be labeled 10% also, just like that other barrel was labeled 10%. Okay, because that's the exact, whatever's in this barrel is what we're removing. I don't know how much I'm removing, so I'll just label this X, because I'm removing X liters of it. Okay? Now, we're going to replace it, which means I need another barrel for replacing. Okay? And that's going to be plus, because it's getting added into it. Okay, but this one is going to be 17%. So remember, I'm replacing it with a 17%. So I'm going to label this barrel 17%. How much of it am I putting in? All I'm doing is replacing this one. So if I take X liters out, I'm going to have to put X liters back in. Okay, so now I still have X liters. That's all I'm doing. So now what am I ending up with? Okay, well, let me look. I'm starting out with the 4,110 liters. I'm taking X liters out. I'm putting X liters back in. So how much do I have to have when I'm all done? I have to have the 4,110 liters again, right? So So this will be 110 liters again. Okay. Okay, but what's the alcohol content in this one? So this one is going to end up being 12%. My pen's not cooperating. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I actually only have one variable in this problem, right? Which means I should only have to write one equation. Across the top, I've already used the fact that I have to have the same amount of liquid in these three barrels as I have here. That's why I only have 4,110. Okay. Then my other equation is I have to have the same amount of alcohol in these three barrels as I have in the final barrel. Okay. So remember to find the amount of liters of alcohol. You're going to have to take how many liters you have altogether times the percent of it that's alcohol. Okay. Just for a very simple example, think back to if I had 100 liters and it was 40% alcohol, you'd have 40 liters of alcohol. That's the 100 times the 0.4. Okay, so this is that same idea, right? So for this one, the liters of alcohol will be 410 times the 0.1, because that's the percent of alcohol that's in that barrel. Okay, and then minus 10% of X, because I have X liters of it, and it's 10%. Okay, so this would be 10% X, and then plus, right, I have 17% alcohol, and I have X liters of it, so you take the percent of alcohol you have times the amount that you have, total, okay, and then that has to equal the liters of alcohol in the final product. Okay, so the liters of alcohol in the final product is 4,110 times the percent of alcohol that I have, which is 12% in this case. Okay. Okay, so now you can now put this equation into your solver, and when you do that and you solve it, you're going to get that X equals 1,174. Okay, Now, if you look at my significant digits that I have up in the problem, it looks like everything has about 3 significant digits. So my final answer should be that I have to remove 1,170 liters of the wine. And then again, you're just going to replace it with 1,170 liters of the wine. That's 17%.